Tesano.
Mr. Montesano, what state do you live in?
I live in Ohio.
And I want to bring your attention back to March 6, 2012. Were you in the state of Florida at that time?
Yes, sir, I was.
And what were you down here for?
Tried to move down here, actually.
And at that date and time, March 6, 2012, where were you staying at?
We were staying at the Econo Lodge, right off of Route 95 in Brevard County.
And when you say we, who were you staying with?
My fiance.
And on that particular morning of March 6th, were you checking out of the particular room?
Yes, we were.
And what were you doing?
Basically, we were cleaning out our room, emptying all our trash out, loading up our belongings into our vehicle.
And do you recall what room you were in?
I do not exactly remember the room number. I know I was on the first floor.
And the layout of the hotel itself, the motel, were you in the front portion, back portion?
In the back portion.
Now, may I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
I'm sure you would have been marked as Exhibit H for identification. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
And what is what?
That's the Econo Lodge.
And is that the area where you were staying?
Yes, sir.
Does this fairly and accurately depict how it existed when you were there on March 6, 2012?
Yes, sir.
And at this time, the statement will to admit what is marked as Exhibit H for identification and evidence.
Okay, response from the defense? Okay, H will be received as State's Exhibit number 7.
Charge warrant number 9.
Did I miss? Oh, you're right, we're on number 9. Sorry about that. State's Exhibit number 9.
Can I ask if the vehicle can be brought out, please? I'll ask to publish this at this time to the jury.
Okay?
I think the best spot may be perhaps down by where that spare chair is, and view close enough where they can see it.
Okay, if he wants to move it over there, we can move it over there.
Thanks.
If you'll turn it this way a little bit so the defense can see it too.
I might have the witness step down, please.
The witness may step down. Yes, you may.
If you just stand to the side, please. And can you point to the jury where approximately you were staying? Can you indicate which floor you were on? First floor. And you recall where your car was parked at? My car was parked right here. And was there this area that kind of jumped out from the building?
That's the stairwell that goes up to the second floor.
And was there any car parked between your car and that stairwell?
Yeah, it was this.
And when you were there, did you notice anything unusual happening somewhere between 10 and 11 o'clock?
Yeah, I noticed that vehicle was being loaded with furniture that belonged to the hotel room.
Okay. And did you see what people were, what if any people were loading anything into that vehicle? And can you indicate the defendant, can you please point him out, describe an article of clothing that he's wearing? And white or black? Your Honor, let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant. Did you see anybody else carrying stuff out of that vehicle as well?
Female as well.
Yeah, here.
Female as well.
Can you give the jury a description of that female?
I really can't.
She white or black?
She was white.
And did you happen to notice what room or what area the room was?
I believe it was this room here.
Okay. And it was an area room close to the stairwell?
Yes.
And if you observed them carrying items out, what items did you observe them carrying out?
Basically furniture. I can't remember exactly what kind of furniture it was. I knew it didn't belong, it belonged there. We had to take it apart. Off the wall.
Okay.
Like that.
Can he be seated?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Just then he'll be picked up on the microphone.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me re-ask that question to you, sir. What items did you see these individuals carrying out?
Basically, the furniture that was in the room, painting off the wall, microwave, stand, stuff like that.
How were you able to identify the furniture as, in your own mind, as knowing that it came from the room?
Because I was staying in one of the rooms, I know what furniture belonged in that room.
Did it look identical to the furniture you had in your room?
Yes, it did.
And did you observe these individuals one trip, multiple trips?
I believe it was just one trip because we were in the middle of packing our stuff, and I'd seen that the employees there were on their way to try and stop these people from taking.
Okay, sustained.
And after you observed the two individuals carrying things down to the SUV, what did you then next observe?
Nothing. I closed my curtain and went back to my business.
Did you see anybody confront either of these two individuals?
Yeah, I did.
Tell the jury
The
about
maintenance guy was down there trying to stop them from leaving with the stuff.
that. Were there any other hotel employees in the area?
I believe there were two upstairs near the room, but I don't know for sure. I couldn't see up there. I was in my room at that point.
And once you saw that starting to occur, what did you do?
I closed my curtain and went back to my business.
Your Honor, I have one moment.
Yes, you may.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness.
The questions by the defense.
Montesano, can you tell the members of the jury whether or not you've been convicted of a felony or a crime of dishonesty?
Yes, I have.
How many times?
One time.
Or what?
It was for...
Let me back up for a moment. I'll back up. You've been convicted only one time in your life?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Well, it depends what you're asking me.
About my question.
What kind of conviction are we speaking of here?
A felony or a crime of dishonesty?
I have one felony.
Sure you have a crime of dishonesty as well?
I don't believe so, but I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. I have committed crimes in my past. Yes, I have. And I also did my time for my crimes.
Montesano, you said earlier you live in the state of Ohio, correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that in the state of Ohio, on May 7, 2001, you were convicted for a crime of dishonesty, receiving stolen property?
Yes, sir.
And that's in addition to the felony that you were convicted of as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You indicated earlier you saw two individuals carrying furniture.
Yes.
All right. Did you have a good eye on them?
What do you mean, did I have a good eye
Were
on
you
them?
looking at them?
Yeah, of course. I might just parked right beside them, cleaning out my hotel room and loading my belongings into my vehicle.
Would it be a fair statement that the male that you saw, the way he appeared was out of this world?
Huh?
Would that be a fair statement?
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
All right, you remember, well, first of all, you didn't call the police on March 6th, correct?
No, I did not.
You saw this happening, you didn't call the police.
No, I did not.
And actually, they contacted you by phone March 29th, correct?
Something like that, yes.
All right. And then they told you to go see a detective in Ohio, right?
Yes, sir.
And you and your fiancée, Stephanie Bertoli, were inside the interview room together with Sergeant Minich, I believe. Detective
Munich? Yes, sir.
Munich. In fact, both of you were in that room, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you don't recall a conversation coming up where you indicated the male seemed to be not in this world.
I don't believe I said anything of the sort.
All right, was that Ms. Patoli that said that?
I don't know what she said. Truthfully, I know what I said,
All right, but you
and
were
I
sitting
don't believe I
right-
said anything like that, no.
But you were sitting right next to her, correct?
Yes,
In the same room.
okay.
You were, well, you were there, you tell us.
I don't know, that's what the statement's for. That's why it was written down and recorded.
Right.
I don't know exactly what she said versus what I said. This was over a year ago, sir.
Okay. Got a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Judge, I don't have anything else.
Okay, redirect by the state.
Briefly, Mr. Montesano, the defendant you observed, did you see him go up and down the staircase?
Yes, sir.
Did he have any trouble going up and down the staircase?
No, sir.
Did he have any trouble coming down the staircase carrying items?
No, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
Recross.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, thank you for your testimony. You're free to step down.
Thank you.
Okay, other witnesses on behalf of the state.
And the state will next call Andrew Jordan.
Sir, if you'll come forward, step up before the clerk to be sworn.
You solemnly swear affirm any testimony you shall give us is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, if you'll have a seat, once seated, if you'll scoot that chair up. Do talk into that microphone. Do adjust that microphone if you need to, but do talk into the microphone. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, would you please state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
Andrew Jordan, Jordan.
And Mr. Jordan, how are you employed?
I work as a maintenance at the Econo Lodge.
And how long have you worked there for?
It'll be 4 years now. We're right close to that.
And is that location at 4455 West New Haven Boulevard? Melbourne?
Yes.
And is that location within Brevard County, state of Florida?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury, that location, what type of business is it?
It's a hotel, you know what I mean?
And is there anything unusual about the setup of the hotel as far as the names?
Yeah, it's one franchise, but it's actually two franchises. It's one's personal owned and one's the Econo Lodge franchise. It's actually two separate organizations in one.
And what are the two names that are used for the franchises?
The one is Econo Lodge, and the other one is, I can't remember the right name for it, but it's Mr. Malik's the one that owns it.
Okay. Would it be the York Inn?
No, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Is that what the...
Yes.
Okay. And as far as the Econo Lodge versus the York Inn, is there any order to the rooms? Is one section the Econo, one section the York Inn?
Yes, there's two full buildings is Econo Lodge, and two full buildings is the York Inn.
And where are they in relationship to each other?
The York is the first building when you pull in, and then the one right beside it. And then in the back, there's two back there, they're in the same opposite position, but they're at the back.
Okay, what are the buildings in the back?
Yeah,
And which hotel are they technically?
the one in the back is the York Inn, and the one up front is the budget, or Econo Lodge.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit J. You recognize that document?
Yes,
And what is it?
that's our floor plan of all the buildings.
Does that fairly and accurately depict the floor
Yeah.
plan with the hotel room numbers?
Mm-hmm.
And, at this time, I would ask to admit Exhibit J for identification and evidence.
Okay, response from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, J will be received as State's Exhibit number 10.
And at this time, I'd also would move to admit marked as Exhibit AL.
What is it marked? AL?
AL.
Yes, you may. Oh, Mr. Brown. Okay, AL will be received as State's Exhibit number 11.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
I want to show you what has been admitted as Exhibit 11. Do you recognize that document? Those documents?
Yes,
And what are those documents?
that's where they signed into the room.
And does that indicate a particular room number and a particular guest name?
Yes,
And what guest name and room number is there?
it's room 268, and I don't know.
And would the name be Andrea Kirchner?
Yeah, Andrew Kirchner.
And does this indicate the original check-in date and original scheduled checkout date?
Yes,
What's the check-in date?
3/4/12.
And does the remaining paperwork indicate that they stayed an extra day?
I'm pretty sure it does. Yes.
Now, I'm going to refer you to Exhibit 10.
Okay.
Does that indicate on there where room 268 is?
Yes, right here.
And as far as the front or back portion of the hotel, where would that be at?
Of that building, it would be the front of the building,
Okay. Is that building in the front or back of the hotel?
in the back.
Your Honor, may I have the witness step down?
Yes, you may.
I want you to look at Exhibit number 9. And as you step over there, you can speak up at this point. Okay. Do you recognize the area that Exhibit 9 depicts?
Yes, just the back part of European,
Can you point out to the jury where room 268 would be?
right about right there, top of the top floor.
Go ahead and have a seat. Mr. Jordan, were you working on the morning of March 6, 2012?
Yes,
And were you working at the location we've been discussing at the Counter Lodge, York?
yes,
And sometime approaching 10:30 towards 11 o'clock, did anything unusual occur in the parking lot area?
well, Andrea approached me to get into her room. I said, okay, so I walked across and went up the steps, and I looked down, and I seen this picture sitting there, and I like, no, well, that's one of ours. So I just grabbed it and walked upstairs with her, and went to open the door, and she jumped in front of me, and I just, okay. And I walked on over to like a second room over, and I put the picture in there. Well, that just threw a flag to me, so we just sat there and watched, I went back to what I was doing, but we just watched, and then, went from there.
And then, what was the next thing that occurred?
That, the maids called and said,
Without going into what the maids told you, did they make contact with you?
the maids did, yeah.
And as a result of your contact, did you go back to the area near room 268?
Yes.
And when you went back to that area, did you go parking lot area up to the room, or where did you go?
I went back to the room to knock on the door and tell them to, they got to go. But then, as I was heading up there, I seen all this stuff in their vehicle,
And can you tell the jury where was the vehicle?
directly below the room.
Can you step over to the picture and please point it out again?
And it was right here against the corner of the steps.
And